Good morning, guys. I can see you've got a few of you online. Great. Today's playlist is 18 Sassy Brave, and we have a new sequence because it's a new month. So this sequence we're focusing on forward folds and triangles. So I hope you enjoy it. If you get your playlist ready, the first track is silent, so just expect that when you put the playlist on, and that's because we're going to be focusing on our breath. So when you're ready, just pop the playlist on, we'll do it together, and come to a comfortable seated position. Also, a nice way to do this first pranayama or breath work is actually on your back, if that feels more comfortable. It's most important that you feel comfortable during the practice, most of all, because that affects our breathing. So Vilemo is a type of breathing in pranayama, which means interrupted breath, or against the grain. So what it means is we're going to take a breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to do the exhale in 4 sections. So we're going to exhale 1 quarter and pause, exhale a 2nd quarter and pause, exhale a 3rd quarter, pause, and you get the idea. And the point of this is that we're controlling our breath, and through control of the breath, we control the energy, or we control our internal nervous system. It depends on how you want to look at it. I see it as a nervous system because I'm quite a scientific person. If you're more spiritual and you believe in energy, then you might see it as a control of energy, or prana, which is life force. So it has an effect on your nervous system to make you feel more relaxed. Essentially, that's what's going on in the body. So we're going to try that together. So if you close your eyes and find a comfortable seated position, and we'll take a big breath in that's slow and steady. And a big exhale that's slow and steady. 1 more big breath in. And then we'll exhale 1 quarter and pause. Exhale 2 quarters and pause. Exhale 3 quarters and pause. Exhale all quarters. Big breath in. Exhale 1 quarter, pause. Exhale 2 quarters, pause. Exhale 3 quarters, pause. Exhale 4 quarters. Breath in. And now we'll complete this 3 times on your own. So if that was too fast or too slow, my tempo, please slow it down or speed it up to what feels comfortable for you. So we're taking a breath in and we're exhaling in quarters and pausing between each quarter. And when you do your pauses, the more that you practice this, the more comfortable you'll feel to hold that pause a little longer. Seeing if you can relax other parts of the body that are not needed or are feeling like they're holding tension during the breath. You should be around about on your last round now, so I'll join you. Inhale. Exhale 1 quarter. 2, 3, 4. And now just returning that breath back to the natural breathing. And the more that we practice this, the more comfortable you'll get with retaining the breath. It might feel a little scary at first. It's quite normal. And just allowing your breath now to be running naturally. Take those shoulders up towards the ears and then back towards the back of the room and down again. And when you're ready, I'll come and join you on your back for some core work. If you do have a block, just have it handy because we might need it depending on which ones. So we'll bring our knees down to touch the floor, tickle the backs of your heels, and then reach your legs up so your shins are parallel to the floor. And we're going to push our lower back into the mat. So naturally we do this little bend. I want you to push your lower back so it's flush to the floor. Interlace hands behind neck and head, elbows up towards the roof, And then we'll exhale, lift the shoulders up off the floor. Hold. We're going to take a breath in and exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. So 70 degrees, 90, 70. Inhale to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Pull that lower belly down and push the sacrum into the floor. Inhale back to center. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Bring those shoulders up if you can. Inhale to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Can you lift both shoulders up? Inhale back to center. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Reach over with the right hand and then push that forearm into your thigh and push your thigh into your forearm. Lift the shoulder off the floor if you can. Keep supporting your head with your hand. Feel that lower belly really start to work. Place the hand back behind your head. Inhale back to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Left hand crosses over the body, pushes into that right quad. The quad pushes into the arm. Can you lift that right shoulder off the floor? Support the head with the right hand. Hold. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side, crossing the hand over, pushing the forearm into the thigh, lifting that left shoulder off the floor if it's sagging down. Hold the head with that left hand to support neck and head. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side, crossing that arm over, pushing them into each other, create friction. Lift that right shoulder off the floor. Hold the head with the right hand. Inhale back to center. Last stage. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Reach that right hand over. Option to push and take that option. If your neck and head are okay, you can grab your wrist and pull yourself up. So both shoulders come up off the floor. Whew. Hands come back behind the head. Inhale back to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Cross that left hand over the body. If your neck is happy, grab that wrist and pull yourself up. Lift both shoulders up off the floor. Hold. Hands come back behind the head to support it. Inhale back to center. One more round each side. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten over the top. Maybe pull up. Feel those abs really fire up. Hands behind neck and head. Inhale to center. Last side. Exhale. Cross. Lift. Hold. Hands behind the head. Return to center. Breath in. Exhale. Breath out. Hands to floor. Feet to floor. And windscreen wipe those legs from side to side. You're going to bring the knees into the chest. If you like your little rocks and rolls, you're welcome to take them. If these don't feel nice for you, then just come into a down dog in any way that feels best for you. So if you did my sculpt class on the weekend, you might be feeling a bit tight through those backs of the legs, like me. So we're going to come up onto tippy toes and exhale down through heels. So your down dog might have bent knees. I had a down dog like that for a very, very long time to make sure that my back was not rounding. So if you're trying to straighten your legs, but your torso ends like up like this, it's really not very good for your back. You want your back to be nice and straight. And if that means bending your knees, that's fine. Look towards the belly, and the purpose of this is to elongate through the back of the neck. Grip into the mat with your fingers like you're a little frog gripping onto your wall. Now look between your hands, step or jump forward. Inhale, flat back, so neck is nice and long, gaze to floor. Exhale, fold, bend the knees. As we bend the knees, we slowly roll up like a wave, stacking the vertebra, tucking the tailbone, lifting hands up, breath in. Exhale to fold, coming out the same way. So we fold like a wave. So the upper body starts to fold, and then we come through the knees, and the knees can start to straighten a bit as you come down. Inhale, flat back, like a wave again. Really anatomically friendly. Bend through the knees, hands to floor. Option to step or to jump back. If you jump, you want to try and control the jump as much as you can. Coming into your high plank. If this is too much for you, bring the knees to the floor. Otherwise, if you're staying in plank, squeeze the glutes. Push the heels back. Push your chest between your hands. Protract through shoulders. So we're pushing our middle back towards the roof. Now, first chaturanga, always good to do it with knees on the floor. We bring the chest forward, suck those elbows in towards the body like a tricep push-up. The whole body is straight. You don't want your bum sagging to the floor. Everything's working. Tuck tailbone, slowly come down. Inhale into baby cobra. So we roll our shoulders back, pin the elbows back towards the body. Push the top of the feet into the floor. Maybe lift the hands, booty is on. Give it a poke, wake it up. Gently exhale, come down, and then push up and back. Downward facing dog. I like to pedal out my legs to get those hamstrings woken up. They sometimes take a little bit longer. Inhale, reach that right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. So the hips are facing the front of the room. Imagine your hip bones are nice and flush with the front of that mat. If you want more, you come a little deeper. If you're feeling quite bendy, if this is way too much, you can bend that back knee a little bit if you're really tight in that front hip flexor. Exhale, hands down, step back. Option to flow. Knees down is an option, chaturanga. Exhale down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. So with up dog, we roll the shoulders back. Booty is engaged, pushing into the top of the feet. Tuck toes, push back down. Downward facing dog, breath out. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Get steady in the feet, rise up, crescent lunge, breath in. Get deep into the legs, hip bones to the front of the mat. If it's too much, just don't go so deep and you can bend that back knee a little bit. Exhale, hands down and flow. Step back. So your options are knees on floor or full chaturanga or chaturanga to 90 degrees. And then coming up and the thighs lift with engagement as well. And exhale, down dog. You don't need to take all these options. These are just if you want to step it up or if you are injured or if you're new, just take the first option. Inhale, reach that right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Breath in, crescent lunge. Breath out, warrior two. We pivot that back foot to the floor. If you want to check your alignment, the front heel is in line with the instep of the back foot. The hips are rotating open. Gaze towards front middle finger. Come deeper into that front knee. The front knee should not go over the toes. Should be over that ankle. And breathe. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back. Choose your flow. If you want to step it up, one-legged chaturangas or chaturanga push-ups are always an option. Inhale to up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in, left leg rises. Breath out, step between the hands. Breath in, rise up. Crescent lunge. Breath out, warrior two. Again, deep into the legs. I encourage you to lift the toes on the front foot and push through the front heel. Get deeper into that knee and push down through the blade edge of that back foot. This is going to open the hips. One more breath, stay for the exhale. Breath in. Exhale, hands to floor and flow. Choose your option. Inhale into upward facing dog or baby cobra or lifted thighs. Breath out, downward facing dog. Last flow, we pick it up. Breath in, right leg rises. Exhale, step between the hands, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reverse warrior. Maybe there's a bind, maybe not. If bind doesn't feel good for you, a back traction is a nice option, pushing into the left hip to get more opening through the front body. What you don't want to do is straighten that front leg, so you want to keep that knee bent. Exhale, extended side angle. So we're going to bring that elbow to rest on the front quad. Left hand comes up. Relax neck and head. In a lot of yoga practices, they tell you to look up. It causes a lot of compression in the neck and a lot more stress through the shoulders and the neck. You don't need to do that. It doesn't actually do anything for you except more tension. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back and flow. High to low. Inhale to rise. And exhale to down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Breath out, step through. Breath in, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reverse warrior. Reach forward to get length like you're painting the ceiling. Maybe there's a bind grabbing the front thigh or a back traction if you feel compression in your back. Release neck and head. So right ear goes towards right shoulder. Chin gently draws in towards the chest. The back of the neck is neutral. Exhale, come through, extended side angle. So we rest on that front quad, reach up through the top hand. Come deep into those thighs, push the hips underneath between your knees so that it's an opening of the hips. If your glutes are sticking out, you're not going to get that hip opener. So have a play with pushing the hips in a little bit. Exhale, hands down, frame the front foot and flow. High to low, breath out. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Walking out through the legs. Bending the knees and opening the hips. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reverse. Exhale, extended side angle. Sweep that hand down and come into a easy twist. So we're relaxing that neck again. And we're really growing through that top arm, coming onto the tippy fingers of that right hand. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Step back and flow, high to low. Breath in, we rise. Breath out, fall. Down dog. Right leg rises, breath in. Sweep through the hands, breath out. We go nice and fast this time. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reverse warrior. Maybe there's a bind. Exhale, crescent lunge. Extended side angle. Bringing that left hand to floor, coming onto your back toe, twisting, easy twist, relax neck and head, reach through that top hand, get deep into the front knee, up onto tippy fingers to not dump into wrist. Exhale, hands come down, and you know the drill. Always an option to lower the knees. Take it easy on your shoulders. If you're new to yoga or if you have any injuries, coming into downward facing dog when you're ready. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths, pedaling through those knees and those legs. We're getting those hamstrings open for a reason. We have a lot of forward folds coming, so you want to make sure they're nice and warm. Inhale, raise that right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten that front knee. We're coming into triangle. The left hip goes towards the back of the mat as you reach forward and then tilt down. I sometimes like to hold my hip because it tends to want to twist towards the front. And from here, that top hand rises. So if you're hypermobile and you find that your knee looks like it's going in, I want you to bend the knee a little bit. Or if this is too much for the hamstring, you can also have a micro bend in that knee. Reach up through the top hand, lower that right ear to right shoulder. Try to pull those legs in together to create tension and strength in the legs so you're not just hanging out in your joints. Nice and strong, lift from the belly. Bend through that front knee to slowly rise back up. Hands come up to over the top of your head. Turn your feet to either sides of the edges of your mat. Coming into a wide leg fold forward. Fingers on your sacrum, wrap your fingers around your hips, elbows towards the back of the room. Turn on the glutes, tuck the tailbone down, have a little micro bend backwards. Bend through the knees as you fold forward. Folding forward into the thighs. If you need to have your legs a little wider, feel free to walk them out. Inhale, reach through the chest so we grow strong and long through the back, and then exhale to fold over. Again, if you have injured hamstrings, a little bend in the knees is absolutely okay, or if this feels really painful for the backs of your legs. Also, if you're hypermobile and you know that, it's actually better to come from strength, so bend those knees a little bit. You can gently use that breath to inhale to lengthen through spine and exhale to fold to see if you can get your head a little closer to the floor. Maybe your hands come to the floor. If you do have a headstand and you want to take it, you're very welcome. I'm not going to cue it any more than that. If you want to take it, go for it. Coming up onto your hands and grabbing your big toe with your first two fingers. We're going to inhale, lengthen through chest, and exhale to pull ourselves gently over our legs so elbows go out to the side. Gently coming up, hands come onto the face, Skandasana to the right. So we're bending down into the hips into a snake squat. So we're straightening through that left leg. Now, it might be that you're up here on your tippy toes. You might be able to get your heel to the floor. You might be able to bring your glutes all the way down with your heel on the floor and hands to heart. Whichever option is you today, stay where you feel comfortable. Don't push it too far. If you do have a bind, you can take it and you can relax the neck and head. Just an option. Hands to floor and gently rise up, other side. Skandasana to the left. So you're either deep into the thighs or maybe you're up here and your hands are supporting you, or maybe you're here, okay? The main thing is you're feeling that stretch through the hamstring, whichever option you're taking, even if it's a bind, and you're releasing that left knee to left shoulder. The toes are coming up towards the roof. This is going to get more of a stretch through the hamstrings and the back of the leg. Inhale, gently rise up to center. Walk the feet a little closer, bend through the knees, slowly roll yourself up, tilting the tailbone. Gently, head comes up last. Turn both feet to face the front of the mat, or the back of the mat in my case. Step your back foot halfway forward. We're coming into pyramid. So your options are to grab your elbows. If you've been doing yoga for a long time, you might want to do prayer. Your hips are even to the front of the mat. Feet are on train tracks, and then tilt forward from the hips. So with this pose, we're not looking to round through the upper back like this. We're growing long through the chest and then folding forward. So the chest is straight. That front knee can have a little bend. If you do have blocks and you find this super challenging, a really nice thing to do is to have 2 blocks and reach through the chest and have a play with folding forward onto the blocks with a straight back. So you've got a couple of options. Twisted pyramid, I recommend a block for this one. Place it underneath your right hand. You're going to grow through the chest and then twist towards the left. If you don't have a block, the hand can be on the floor and twisting, which is quite intense unless you're really flexible, or you can actually lift yourself up from strength if you don't have a block. Relax neck and head a little more. Little bend in that front knee if there's pain in the knee at all. Exhale, hands to floor, step forward, fold forward, come into ragdoll. So gently grabbing the elbows and rocking from side to side. Gently starting to roll up. Hands come through heart center, breathe in, reach up. Breath out, hands to floor. Breath in halfway. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back, coming into plank. Flow through, high to low. Breath in to come up. Breath out for down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Breath in, crescent lunge. Breath out, warrior 2. Straighten that front leg. I like to use my hand to pull my right hip back a little bit, reach forward through the left hand, and then tilt down. Now with your triangle, try not to dump down onto the floor. I'd like you to come from strength this time. If you are grabbing your ankle, pull up on it so everything is working rather than dumping down with no engagement. Release the left ear to left shoulder. Really reach through that top hand, suck the feet together to create strength through the legs. So you're coming from flexibility, but from a place of strength rather than dumping and no activation. Bend through that front knee to slowly let yourself rise up. Straighten both legs. Hands come to the center of your body over your head. Turn your toes to the sides of the mat. Take a little micro bend in the knees. Thumbs to sacrum, fingers wrap around hips, elbows back, open chest, squeeze the glutes, little back bend. And then exhale, fold forward over the legs. I need to usually walk my legs out a little wider. If you get your head on the floor, if you're that bendy, bring your feet closer together because it's more of a challenge. Inhale, lengthen through chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen up. We're going to place the right hand into the center of the mat under your face and open up through the left. So we're lifting the left hand up into a twist. Coming up onto tips of fingers will give you more length. This is twisting through our back, releasing through the spine. Exhale, bring the left hand down between the face and breath in to the other side. If your knees feel like they're buckling, bend them. You want to make sure we look after those knees. Exhale, hands come down to frame the face, moving into Skandasana. So we'll go to the left first this time. So we come down into the left, the right toes rise. Maybe the hands are to heart, maybe there's a bind. Maybe you're a little higher and you just rest on the thigh with hands in prayer. Walk your hands through the center, or if you want to play with your balance, do it without your hands. And exhale to the other side. So left toes up, push through that right heel. Maybe you get straight through the back of the leg. Maybe you're a bit higher or up in prayer, resting on your quad. Just make sure that you're playing at your edge. Maybe there's a bind. Find your breath. Gently start to rise up. Grow long through the back. Place the hands on the hips. Take a breath in. Then bend through the knees, slowly roll up. Breath in, and as you exhale, turn both feet to face the front of the mat. Step your back foot halfway up towards the front. Feet are on train tracks. What I mean by that is they're like this. They're not like this, okay? So nice and wide. This is so your hips have space. Place your hands on your hips. Get your blocks ready if you use them. And we're going to tilt the hips down, grow long through the chest, and then keep folding from the hip. So we're actually not rounding through the back. If you grab your hip bones and elongate through the chest and actually bend your hips forward at the top of the iliac crest, you can start to fold forward from the hip. Elongate through chest, exhale, fold. Hips stay even towards the front of the mat. So that right hip you're trying to slightly pull forward and the left back. Little bend in the front knee is okay if your hammy is a little tight or very tight. One more breath. Let the neck and head be really loose. So bring that chin towards the chest. Grow long through the back of the neck. Inhale, rise up slightly. We're coming into that twist. So place a block underneath that right hand as we grow through chest, and exhale, twist to the left. Hips are not twisting. So the hips are even. It's coming from here, the mid-body. So you can just gaze towards the floor. If you don't have a block, you have a few options. You can do it on the floor, which is more intense. You can even place that hand on the outside of the left foot. That's a traditional version that's very deep, okay? Or you can rise up. I like this one if I don't have a block. So I'm using strength in my core to keep me up. One more breath. Exhale, come back to neutral. Fold forward, grab the elbows. Rock from side to side. Neck and head is heavy. Maybe close the eyes, focus on breath. First two fingers come around the big toe. Inhale, lengthen through spine, and exhale to fold. Elbows come out to the side. Your feet are as wide as your hips. So if they're together, please step them a little wider. And this is so we feel nice and secure. It's okay to bend through the knees. If you see me, mine are really bent because my hamstrings are very tight naturally, so I have to do this. A lot of yogis, you'll see they're dead straight. They don't have to be because it can be quite bad for your upper back if you have your straight legs and then you're pulling yourself forward and your hamstrings are holding you back. It's better to get that flexibility through spine first. Inhale to lengthen through chest. Step your feet together, sweep hands behind you. Inhale to come up into chair. So with chair, we suck the thighs together, tailbone comes down, tilted slightly, so we're not dumping into the back, doing some weird back bend. You're really strong in that core. And I'll show you why we're doing that in a moment. Coming to one of our favorites, side crow. Make sure there's some space next to you. Option, if you don't want to do side crow, come onto the tips of your toes and focus on coming lower and sucking your thighs together. If you want to play with side crow, hands to the heart and twist towards the right. You can also do this if you don't want to do side crow. This works on flexibility. If you want to play with crow, side crow, hands come to floor, bend your elbows a lot, and then see if you can get your legs to just sit on the little shelf of your arms. Maybe you can start to straighten them. Maybe you can fly. And if this is just not for you today, just stay in the twist. Or stay in the strength version, which is coming low onto your heels, onto your tippy toes, I mean. Exhale to fold, releasing over the thighs, stepping feet hip width apart. Gorilla pose, bringing the palms of the hands under the balls of the feet. Maybe there's some little massaging of your toes on your wrists. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Elbows come out to the sides to create space through the shoulders. So just watch if you're bunching up through those shoulders. Releasing those hands out, step feet together, sweep hands behind you, come back up into chair. Exhale, sit low, squeeze those thighs together. Option to come onto tippy toes and lower down. It's really going to start to get into your thighs, especially if you did Brave Sculpt the other day. They're burning. Bring those heels down if you want to come to the twist. Inhale, hands come to heart center. Reach through chest first and then twist to the left. So if the extension in your wrist is too much, you can create a fist and do it this way. So it gives one of your wrists a break. Or two wrists can come into fists as well. If you want side crow, hands come down to the floor. Make a little shelf. You want your hands to be reasonably close. Make a shelf, bend your elbows, and use that as a little shelf just to tilt forward. Maybe you can straighten your legs. It's actually harder than doing the one with the open legs. If this is not for you, stay in the twist. And when you're done, just come into ragdoll. So grab over the legs, or you can come into a deep malasana squat if you want to bring your head above your heart. That might feel quite nice if you're finding all the forward folds a little much at the moment. And gently walking to the top of your mats, folding forward wherever you are. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Stepping or jump back into high plank. And flow, choosing your option. Keep those elbows in nice and tight, with whatever option you choose for your chaturanga. And exhale, down dog. We're going to do a little jump through. So if you don't want to do jump throughs, you just have to step between your hands. If you want to do a jump through, you're going to try and bend the knees and get a little bit of momentum, then suck in the pelvic floor and try to control coming into a seated position. This is Ashtanga. So we bend through those knees. We try to get a bit of height. We control it. See, I didn't do a very good job of it then. But you try to control it as you jump through to make it slower. Just really gets the pelvic floor, so all the bathroom muscles to suck in and up. Navasana, boat pose. So options are to have the knees bent if you're new and you're starting out, or if you feel like you have any injuries or this is where you want to stay, totally fine. Open the chest. If you want to make it a little more challenging, you straighten the legs. But we don't want to do anything like this. The chest is open, hands are open. Squeeze the thighs together, squeeze the lower belly in. Hold, maybe come a little lower, 1/4, hold. 2/4, hold. 3/4, hold. A little longer, hold. And then 4/4, all the way down. Well done. Rock and roll forward and back. Bring your feet together. We're coming into butterfly pose. So you bring the balls of your feet together and you have a few options. If you have knees that are injured, I like to use blocks to make sure my knees are not opening too far outside of their range of motion to the side. So your options are this. Feet far away makes it easier. Feet together closer towards your middle makes it harder. So take your choice. You're going to bring your hands into your book and your feet and sort of slightly open them like a book and have a feel of what that does with your thighs. You can push your elbows into your thighs and lower the knees down a little bit as well. And from there, traction through the back. So grow long through the spine, pushing into your quads to allow yourself to traction your spine forward. Chin stays towards the chest. If everything feels okay, you can start to tilt forward. And maybe you can use your feet as an anchor to gently bring your head closer towards the feet. You don't have to have the head on the feet. That's not what you need to do. You can bring your feet out a little further forward to see how that feels as well. That chin stays towards the chest for the purpose of making the neck nice and long. Closing the eyes and bringing that attention inward. Gently starting to come up. We'll be moving in. I've been inspired by Ashtanga recently, which is the birthplace of power yoga. So we're going to bring our knees together and then fold forward over our thighs, but spread our thighs nice and wide. We're coming into something called Tittibasana, which sounds like a bit of a rude word, but I'll show you the different options and you can have a play. The first one is feet nice and wide. We fold over the thighs. You bring the left shoulder underneath the left knee and then the right shoulder underneath the left knee. Place your hands on the backs of your ankles and see if you can start to fold forward. So even if your knees are bent, you can still do this. Your shoulders don't have to be dead behind them, but you have to be going in that direction. Move your feet a little closer together. Place your hands flat on the floor and start to feel your weight going back. Just be really mindful here. You want to bend your elbows and see if you can sit onto the tops of your arms. From here, move your feet a little closer together. Maybe they interlock around each other. You might need to move your hands a little closer together. And then maybe you can start to lift your feet off the floor in a bind. This is the baby version. How are you going? You don't have to do this today. You can just do the fold forward. The next version is starting to straighten the legs, which I can't do because my hamstrings are really tight. And you can plonk on the floor in whichever version that you tried. And we're going for a forward fold. So you can remove that padding, your glutes from underneath you. Knees are nice out wide and flexed. We're going to reach through the chest and tilt from the hips to forward fold. Now for me, I have a hamstring nerval thing on my left, so I don't have a very good forward fold at the moment. And this might be you today as well. And if there is pain, you shouldn't push through pain. It should be a stretchy feeling. It should feel good if you're used to the stretchy feeling. If there's a sharp pain, it means that you should stop going forward. Another nice option that I do with knee injuries or hamstring injuries is you can place blocks underneath the knees. What that is going to do is create bend in those hamstrings and it will protect your hamstrings from overstretching. And that way you can get a bit more into the back. So you can reach through the chest and tickle those hands forward and maybe come a little further. With that chest open, chin tucked slightly in towards the chest. For some of you, this is going to feel awesome. Your chest might be on the floor. And if that's the case, you can play with opening up your hands and binding onto your feet, or even placing your feet underneath your legs to get your chest flat on the floor. Not something I can do, but some people can. So just an option if you are there. We use that same technique. So we inhale, we lengthen through chest, and exhale, use that to fold forward. Making sure wherever you are, you're finding it restful. It's not too painful or intense. Use your blocks, your arms to support you so you feel nice and supported. You might find now that you're starting to soften into the forward fold. It's becoming a little easier. You might find a little more space to walk your hands forward and reach through chest and to fold. We'll take 3 more breaths wherever you are. So see if you can make that back a little straighter and come forward a little more. Making little pillows with your hands for your head to relax. Releasing through the jaw. Walking hands towards the body. We slowly start to come up. If you had blocks under your legs or any other variations, you can grab those. Place your hands behind your knees, bend your knees, and then slowly walk them in. So take it really gentle. We've just come from a really deep bend. You can bring your knees in, cross your legs, and take a gentle step back to a plank. And move through your flow, high to low. Inhale to up dog. And exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. We really push through the backs of the knees. So straightening through those backs of the legs as much as you can. And by walking out one, you can release the tension. So you bend one knee and straighten the other if you find it difficult to straighten both legs at the same time. Look between your feet or towards your belly to release that neck as well. Look between your hands. We'll take a little jump forward. So we're going to bend through the knees. See if we can do it a bit better this time. Get a little bit of length. Squeeze your pelvic floor. So the bathroom muscles, suck them in and up. Squeeze your legs together. Control the jump forward. Have a little play. And coming into a single forward fold. So left leg out, right knee in. We're going to, again, remove the padding. Reach up through the chest. Turn the chest towards that left leg and then fold over. So this is a bit more gentle than the double. So you might find you have a lot more flexibility in this version. The same options are there if you have a knee injury or if you have a hamstring injury, a block under that knee is great, or just bend the knee. If your hamstrings are happy, you can actually put your hands in contact with your foot and straighten your leg a little more to feel more through the back of the leg if you're really open, and then reach through the chest and gently pull yourself forward and then relax. It's really important we also feel this through the lower back as well. So if you're just feeling it through your hamstrings and your knees still bend it a little bit more so that you can actually start to open through the back as well. Because sometimes those hamstrings hold us back. Again, closing the eyes and focusing on the breath if that feels good for you. Or find a soft gaze on something, a drishti, a focus. Gently starting to walk the hands up. And we'll take a second version of this, which is a bind. So you can take the same version again, or if you want to try something different, we're going to reach behind us and see if we can have a little bind around our right shin and knee. So from this side, so I can show you what it looks like from this side. I'm binding around. If that doesn't feel good for you, please don't do it. It's just an option. Otherwise, just go into the normal fold forward. We won't be in this one for so long. We're going to reach through the chest so the back is nice and long, and then forward fold. So you're going to feel this a lot more through the back. And for me, this is it. If you see an Ashtangi, their head is right near their foot. So it doesn't matter how far you can go, as long as you're feeling the stretch and there's no pain in the shoulder. If you do have a shoulder injury, this is probably not one for you. One more breath here. Releasing the hands and stacking the vertebra to come back. Last version, we're going to bring that bent knee over the top of the straight knee, and we're going to stack the knees together. So the knees are kind of on top of each other. So that from the front, you can see that my right foot is kind of on the top of the foot or the side of the foot, so my knees can be stacked. You're probably already going to be feeling it here if you're tight in the hips. I just remove some padding under my glutes. I'm going to reach forward through the chest and fold forward. This is very deep because we're forcing our leg to be straight. So you won't go as far here. Open through the chest and fold forward over the thigh. being really gentle here, keeping that front foot flexed, or if it feels better, you can play with pointing the foot and flexing. Little circles sometimes feels nice too. Just have a play. Grow through chest, fold forward. Coming into a figure 4 position, we roll onto our backs, we keep our legs as they are, and make a little space through the center to grab through the triangle between your legs. And gently pull your left knee in towards your body. So if you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can deepen the figure 4 by bringing your foot a little further down the quad and maybe grabbing the front of your shin. The main thing here is our lower back is really supported because it's flush to the floor. Our neck is flush to the floor. It's nice and long. So this is a version like pigeon. We're getting that piriformis or the glute muscle stretched. Gently releasing that left leg. And we'll come into a twist. So bringing that right knee over to the floor and gaze over towards the right. So twisting through that spine. This realigns the spine after all the fold forwards. Gently coming back to center, bring knees into chest. Little rock forward and back. You can take a few if you like these. Massages the spine. If it doesn't feel good, just coming through, jumping into a plank. And flowing, so high to low plank. Inhale to come up and exhale to down dog. Look between the hands. We try that little jump through again. So we're going to bend through the knees, control, squeeze the legs together, squeeze the pelvic floor, get some height and try to control the jump also with the shoulders, also getting us ready for handstands. So let's go to the other side. So left knee comes in or left foot comes in, remove the padding. Reaching up and high as we fold forward over the right leg. So this one for me is the sensitive one, so I take it easy. You can feel the difference between a stretch and something that feels like it could be pushing through an injury. It'll feel sharper and a lot tighter. If it's a stretch, it'll be like a slow feeling that feels like a releasing movement, whereas if it's pain, then it's not the right feeling. Use your breath here. You can even practice the pranayama we learnt at the first of the class, so taking a breath in and having controlled exhales in quarters. This is a great tool for distracting the mind as well and coming into the present moment. Taking one more breath where you are, using that breath tool that we learnt of exhales in quarters. Walking your hands up. A nice option, I didn't mention this, but if you do have a knee injury and you find these a little much, you can place a block underneath that knee. You can do this in a lot of different poses. It just means that the knee is not going outside its normal range of motion to the side. So blocks are really great for that. We're going to take the second option, which is a bind, placing that left foot flat to the floor. We're going to reach behind with that left arm and see if we can bind the hands behind the body and then lift the chest up. Come nice and straight through that spine if you can, and then we start to tilt forward. So try and keep, rather than rounding through the back, trying to keep the back as long as possible. You may need to shift your hip bones back a little bit. And watching that knee or pain in the shoulder, if that happens for you, this is not a pose your body likes. So please just come into the version from before. It's all about exploration, and some things don't feel good for some people, so we just avoid those. Gently coming out from this version, and we'll take the last option for today. We're stacking those knees, so we're bringing the knees on top of each other. This is going to straighten through that bottom leg on the right. Removing the glutes, so you're on your sit bones. Reaching tall through the chest and exhale to fold. This is going to be much more intense through the back of the leg, so just take it easy. I like to place my hands on the floor on my tippy fingers. Inhale to reach through chest and straighten back, and then walk them forward. If you find it helpful to bring back the breath, the quarter breath, then please do. Last exhale. Walking the hands up, we'll be coming onto our backs, keeping our feet in the same position. Figure 4 on the back. Reaching through the middle of the legs, maybe grabbing behind the hamstring, or if you want a little bit more, you can grab the shin. Keeping that neck neutral, so the shoulders are on the floor and the chin's tucked in, so the back of the neck is nice and long. Feeling this through the glute on the left. Supine twist on this side. So we keep the legs as they are, lower that right foot to the floor, and then bring the left knee over the top of the body to come into a twist. So both shoulders on the floor, gazes towards the roof. Gently coming back out. Rock and roll yourself forward and back. Coming into Navasana, boat pose. Choosing your option, bending your knees. If this is level 1 and level 2, straightening the legs and opening the chest. We come down 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, hold, and 4 quarters down. Bend the knees, tickle the backs of the heels. We come into a bridge pose. So I really like to use a block, and that is to make sure I'm using my pelvic floor and all my quads and glutes. So squeeze the block, tickle the backs of the heels, rise up. Squeeze the block even more, tilt tailbone towards the heels, and imagine those glutes wrapping around the hips. I like to actually take my fingers sometimes and give myself a poke and make sure it's working. See if I can activate through the glutes even more. Once we're up here, you have the option to stay or to take little pulses. So we're pulsing up to the ceiling. We keep squeezing that block and we're activating those glutes. So as the glutes squish together and become tense, it extends the hip towards the roof. So that's what the glute is doing. By squeezing our thighs together, we've got 3 different muscles in our glutes. So by using adduction, we're also using our glute medius as well. Let's go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it on the full extension. Keep squeezing. Feel it burning. Engagement. Then slowly come down, upper back, middle back, and lower back. Removing those blocks and windscreen wiping from side to side. Taking a final inversion, if you're working on anything like pincher, handstand, headstand, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, we'll come into a shoulder stand. Or if you're new to yoga, just place a block underneath your hips on your sacrum and have your feet up. Feet against the wall also feels really nice. Shoulder stand for everybody else. So coming up, squeezing those legs together. Gazes towards the feet. Staying active. Maybe there's plow, we flex the toes. Maybe the feet come over the head. Maybe they touch the floor. To come out, the hands come behind you like brakes. They push into the floor, straighten through the legs or bend the knees a little, and use that control of the core to slowly roll down each vertebra, like you're lowering a chain onto the ground. And then the feet come down last. Coming into your Shavasana, taking one more supine twist. So bringing the knee up in towards the chest and exhale over the top of the body. This will prepare us for our final resting pose. If you want to feel a little bit more, you can bind around the foot and extend the foot straight. Bend the knee, going to the other side. Straightening both legs out. Lower back is flush to floor. Exhale, left knee into chest, pulling up gently on the shin. Exhale over the top of the body. Supine twist to the right. Straightening through that top leg if you did it on the other side. Come back to center and find your final resting position, your Shavasana. If you wish to stay in your Shavasana longer, please do. Otherwise, I welcome you to start to engage your quarter breath exhales. So we breathe in deeply to belly. Exhale 1/4, pause. The second quarter, pause. Third and fourth. One more time, slow inhale. 1 quarter, pause. 2 quarters, pause. 3 quarters, pause. 4 quarters, exhale. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes and maybe reach your hands up over your head and stretch from bottoms of toes to tops of fingers. Exhale, bring knees into chest. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe pulling your knees tightly in towards your body and giving your knees a little kiss if you can reach them. Pushing that lower back into the floor. Saying thank you for your wonderful body, for everything it's done today. When you're ready, rolling onto your favorite side and using your bottom arm as a pillow. Keeping eyes closed, gently push yourself up to a comfortable seat. Place our hands on our thighs or on our knees. And just bring that attention inward to feel into that space you've created for yourself today. You've used your breath, you've used movement of the body to move through all different types of positions, to create suppleness and to remove tension, to move through areas that don't often get that opportunity to move. Bring your hands to your heart in awe of your body for how amazing it is and how it fights so hard every day to work and function for you. Exhale, bow down first to yourself, your practice, and then for everyone else online, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it and you got some lovely juicy forward folds to counteract all of that sitting at home in front of a computer or on a chair. And I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste, everyone, and see you soon. Have a great Saturday. Bye.